not gonna lie, some of the concepts of these episodes were really cool. It's like classic throwback sci-fi, but did it come together to create a good show? What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the brand new Amazon Prime series that is Tales from the Loop from author and illustrator Simon Stålenhag, I believe is how you pronounce his name, but his work is incredible. And to see the concept art translate on screen like it does in this show, the art direction, all of those things are fantastic. But we'll get into that. I need to know, were you excited for this new sci-fi series, and did it live up to the hype? So the townspeople who live above the Loop, a machine built to unlock and explore the mysteries of the universe, experience things previously consigned to the realm of science fiction. So let's start with this cast. You have Rebecca Hall, Paul Schneider, trying to think of where Paul Schneider... Oh, of course, Parks and Rec. Oscar-nominated actor Jonathan Pryce, Jane Alexander. My goodness, it's ridiculous. So clearly the acting is going to be there. Now, some of the more minor characters, and I say minor, in some episodes they're minor, in some episodes they're the main character because of the way that this thing is structured, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. They weren't as good as these bigger actors. They didn't convey themselves maybe as well, but you're still on board with what this series is offering, and what it is offering is a very different, more emotional, more scaled-back look into the sci-fi genre. It's not your typical laser swords. It's not a lot of action. There is barely any action in this show, and we'll get into the criticisms, but one major criticism I have is the fact that the first half of the season, especially, every episode is such a slow build. And then when you ultimately get to the payoff, I wasn't satisfied for each individual payoff. Now, some of them, especially in the latter half of the season, I definitely got more from what they were going for, and I was definitely more on board. And each concept of each individual episode really did hold my attention for a select period of time. It's according on how it was executed, but each concept in general was really cool, right? Everything from time travel to body swapping to discovering what old age can do, to the realization of what the world is bringing you, to time stopping, which was one of the cooler episodes. But even in those concepts and ideas, and yes, it sounds sweet when I'm saying it out loud, but it all comes down to how it's handled. And I will say this, the slower episodes each had something special about them. Whether it's a relationship that is being built up or just kind of the way it leaves you, I was going to say not hanging, but yeah, some of the episodes really do leave you hanging because that particular storyline is not necessarily carried over into the next episode, even though we're dealing with the boundaries of this town. So in some episodes, a character is going to be your main character, and we're going to follow them on this journey. And in the next episode, they could be someone in the background. In the next episode, you may not even see them at all. 2 episodes later, they'll pop up once again. The problem with that is that the way that each storyline kind of leaves you, especially within the first 4 episodes, you want to know what comes of that. You want to know how that relationship ends or how this emotion carries forward. But because you're just kind of done with that particular storyline, you don't really get any resolution. Now, at the end of the day, you do get somewhat of a resolution for a few of these storylines, and the overarching theme that carries through the episodes, yes, it's definitely tackled in the final few episodes, but even then, some characters are just not forgotten, because I think this was intentional, but some characters you just... What happened? I want to know, right? I'm invested for a reason. And within that, it's like this anthology series. A lot of people are comparing it to like a Twilight Zone or Black Mirror, but the fact that you keep seeing these characters pop up all throughout, it's like, but they switched the bodies and then this, that. I don't want to spoil anything, but I want to know what happened. I would also throw in comparisons to a show like X-Files, to a show like Fringe, and within that, there are a lot of really well-done things here, right? A lot of things to appreciate, especially the art design and the set design and the way that it looks and the way that it's shot. I mean, from a technical aspect, this show is fantastic. It's one of the best-looking shows I've seen throughout the entire year. And there are these subtle things, sometimes not so subtle, but things in the background, whether it's a giant robot or a structure or a building, and you're always wondering, what is that? What's the history behind that? How did that come about? And those are the intriguing elements about this show. It almost feels like Blade Runner in the way that it builds this world around our characters, or it builds this town, because it's all taking place in a small town. And Jonathan Pryce tells us at the beginning of episode 1, these are interweaving stories because this town is built around the Loop, and the Loop is a machine that continues to unlock mysteries of the universe. And whether it's a machine, whether it's something that you get inside of, or one of those robots that we see lying around, different things keep happening to different characters, but everything that happens is different, right? You get all of these sci-fi concepts, like I said, from a time travel to a body swapping, and it really is interesting. And then, towards the end of the season, things get a bit more exaggerated, and the pace finally starts to pick up. Now, when I use the term slow burn, usually, for the most part, I like a good slow burn, especially if it gives you a good payoff at the end of the day. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are going to be missing from especially a few episodes within this season. Now, because every episode is different, I think a lot of people are going to have different favorite episodes. Like my favorite episode was episode 7. Well, my favorite episode was episode 1. And the highlighted character or character actor at the forefront of that particular episode is going to be one of the main reasons why you respond or you don't respond. And then the fact that you're looking for some sort of payoff, and for the majority of the episodes, you don't necessarily get a payoff for that particular storyline. Now, granted, that is life, and that's the way it goes sometimes, but you continue to see these characters in the background, and that's one thing that continued to bother me. So I didn't respond as highly as I wanted to respond from this show. And even though it is very well done, like I said, from a technical aspect, and all around it's just a well-structured and well-made show, I did want a bit more from it at the end of the day. So here's how I'm going to approach Tales from the Loop. I don't think it's a show that you binge. I don't think it's a show that you should expect the ultimate level of payoff from, but stick with it if you're a couple of episodes in and you're wondering if it gets better, because I do believe the second half outweighs the first half. Now, I haven't had a lot of time to marinate on this show. I literally just finished it, and the only reason I got to finish it is because they released the episodes a bit early on Thursday night, so I got to start watching a bit early. So I can't go as high with my score as maybe I'll go once I get to finally sit down and let it all sink in, because it is a lot to take in. It's a very emotional show as well. Some of the episodes really do bum you out, but I'm going to go a 68%, a 6.8 out of 10 right now. I may up that to a 70 eventually, because like I said, the craft behind this show is excellent. There were just a lot of nitpicks that I had about the individual episodes, and at the end of the day, I wanted a bit more from the overall package. So thank you guys for watching this. If you enjoy this video, please smash that thumbs up button. It really does help out this channel, and let me know what would you like to see me review next. Earlier today, I reviewed Money Heist. I talked about Coffee and Kareem, the brand new Netflix movie, and later on this weekend, my favorite movies of all time. That's right, I didn't forget. That video's coming. You guys are the best. I'll see you soon.